Hey, everyone, this is the PA3 Last Check. You can see some bold words behind there in capital letters. That is what you need to focus on. You guys know how to do the one step pretty well in your head, but you need to show me how using inverse operations. Using inverse operation, it's right in the target. It's right in the target, all right? Make sure you show me that. Here we go, number one. 7 equals x minus 6. I'm trying to solve for x. The opposite or the inverse operation to subtraction is addition. Add 6 to both sides. And I get 13 equals x. Can I check that? You sure can. Plug in 13 for x and see what happens. 13 minus 6, is that 7? It is 7. So you can check your work. Number 2, a divided by 8 equals 2. What's the inverse operation from division? Multiplication. Yeah, very good. Nice job. A divided by 8 equals 2. So I need to, instead of dividing, I need to use the inverse again, multiplication, multiply both sides by 8. 8 and 8 simplify to 1. So I just have a, which is what we were going for. And 2 times 8 is 16. How do I check my work? Plug it in. 16 divided by 8, is that 2? It is. Looks pretty good to me. Number 3, similar thing to what we're trying to do here. Negative 6 equals n divided by 6. Well, how do I simplify it, or how do I do the inverse, I guess, of division? Multiplication. You are correct. So negative 6 equals n divided by 6. Inverse operation, multiply both sides by 6. Negative 36 equals n. Check your work. Is negative 36 divided by 6? That is equal to negative 6. That checks out. We got that one. Number 4, another division. Whew. Lots and lots of division here. Ooh, I like this. Here you go. You've got x divided by 2 equals negative 2. Inverse, once again, of division, it's still multiplication. Multiply both sides by 2. These simplify to 1, or just 1x equals negative 4. Check your work. Negative 4 divided by 2, is that negative 2? Sure is. Here we go, number 5. Oh, here's an interesting one. Another division, but now we got fractions. Mr. Braben, what are you doing? N divided by 16 equals half. N divided by 16 equals half. So I know I need to multiply both sides by 16. But how do I multiply a fraction by a whole number? Yeah, nice job. I heard you say it. Turn the 16 into a fraction, right? Put it over 1. You don't have to have common denominators for multiplication and division of fractions. Let's double check. This left-hand side simplifies to 1n, or just n. On the right-hand side, well, 1 and 1, that's already simplified. How about 16 and 2? We can divide both of those by 2. 2 goes into 16 8 times. 2 goes into 2 1 time. And I get n equals 8 divided by 1, or in this case, just 8. Check your work. If you put in 8 for n, does that give you half? Is 8 divided by 16, is that half? Yeah, simplifies to half. 8 is half of 16. Number 6, x plus 5 equals 25. The inverse operation of addition is subtraction. Good job. You guys are right on the ball here. Subtract 5 from both sides. X equals 20. And double check it. Is 20 plus 5 25? Yeah, it is. It is. Number 7. Oh, we got some fraction business going on here. If you made it this far, go ahead and send me an email and just say, Mr. Braman, I made it this far. Number 7, here we go. I have negative 8 divided by 45 equals negative 4/5 x. Well, we know that the inverse operation of multiplication is division. We know that this is negative 4/5 times x. How are we going to do this? We divide by negative 4/5. But how do you divide by fractions? Well, if you've been watching the videos or paying attention or remember from before, when you divide by a fraction, you invert and multiply. We call this the multiplicative inverse. Big, long math words, it says flip and multiply. Multiply both sides. And if this is negative, you got to multiply it by a negative 5/4. Because a negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 4 is 20. That's 20 over 20 simplifies to 1. You're left with just x. Okay. And if I multiply, I'll move this down one line. Why not? Negative 8 over 45. Negative 4/5 x times negative 5/4. Okay, and we look, negative times a negative is a positive. And let's simplify here. Can I simplify 5 and 45? Yeah, I can. And we notice that because, you know, if they both end with 5, we can divide them by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 45 divided by 5 is 9. Let's look at 8 and 4. Ooh, I know that one right away. 4 goes into both of them. 4 goes into 8 twice. 4 goes into 4 one time. And again, we said a negative times a negative is a positive. Multiply across 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 9 is 9. And x equals 2/9. Mr. Brayman, how do I check my work? Great question. You guys get on the ball. Let's do this. Negative 4/5 times 2/9. Let's see if this works out. Well, a negative times a positive is a negative. I can't do any cross simplification. So 4 times 2 on top is 8. 5 times 9 on bottom is 45. I got negative 8/45. Is that what we were trying to get? Sure was. There we go. Looking good. Number 8, last one on this page, and we talk about the 4-level example. I have 11/7 x equals negative 11/14. We're going to do the same thing. You know this as I need to divide both sides by 11/7. But when you divide by a fraction, use the multiplicative inverse. Oh, I'm proud of you guys. Nice job. Nice job. You guys you're yelling all over Dansville and surrounding areas. So multiplicative inverse, we're going to multiply both sides. Let me write out what we got here. We're going to multiply both sides by 7/11. And if I do that, well, what happens on the left side with a variable? Well, 7 divided by 7 is 1. 11 divided by 11 is 1. Simplifies to 1. And I just have 1x or x. Fantastic. On the other side, well, I've got a negative times a positive. Opposite signs when you're multiplying give you a negative. Can I simplify 11 and 11? Yeah, we can do that. Simplifies to 1. How about 7 and 14? 7 goes into 7 once. 7 goes into 14 twice. On top, 1 times 1 is 1. On bottom, 2 times 1 is 2. I ended up with negative half. I have a negative half. How do I check that? Great question. Plug it in. 11/7 times negative half. What does that give me? When I'm multiplying fractions, I multiply across. Well, first of all, a positive times a negative is a negative, opposite signs. 11 times 1 is 11. 7 times 2 is 14. And I got negative 11/14. And that is exactly what I was trying to get. I like it. I like it. Let's move on to the back page. Write and solve a one-step equation for the following word problem, or make sure to use a variable. Last week, Mr. Brayman had $29. Don't tell Mrs. Brayman. Over the weekend, he mowed some lawns and cleaned the attic and received some money for his tasks. He now has $41. How much money did he receive? Well, the thing we don't know is how much money he received. I received, right? Let's go ahead and call that X. I've got this amount here. I've got X amount, right? Or I'm sorry, I've got $29. I'm going to add some X number of dollars to it, and I'm going to get or equal 41. Well, 29 plus X equals 49. Opposite of addition is subtraction. Subtract 29 from both sides, and X equals 12. 12, X equals 12. 12 what? 12 what? Mrs. Brayman gave Mr. Brayman $12. How much money did he receive? He received $12. He received $12. There we go. Hope that's helpful. Hope you guys are doing great. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.